And we're live. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good and they had a really good week. This is the last webinar we have for this event for the Spring Hackathon that we've done. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Creative J. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we've received some really cool projects. It's sad that only three could win. We had some really good ones. There were some of the projects that didn't meet all requirements or forgot to implement, for example, event-driven architecture fully. But yeah, we had some really good projects. Some or three of the projects were the best, and they will be the ones that we'll be seeing the showcase here today. The idea or the plan for today is we'll do that little intro, then we'll present the judges and bring them on screen, and after that, we'll actually see all the projects or little project showcase so that everyone here in the audience is able to see what the winning projects actually were. Before we get started, I just wanted to thank this year's sponsors. We had Serverless Guru as always, and the top sponsor for this edition was Momento. Sadly, Alan is traveling today, so he won't be able to join us today, but he sent us a message that I'll prepare or I'll read out or summarize it a little bit before we start. And we also had Edu Cloud Academy, Belief in Serverless. Thank you a lot to the Belief in Serverless community for allowing us to stream here and also for all the support on the Discord channel. And also a big thank you for the AWS Community Builder program who presented or allowed us to give away some of the credits as part of the actual prizes. Regarding Momento's message or Alan's message, they were really surprised about all the different ways people thought of implementing Momento. There are a lot of different options, and they were really happy with the hackathon. They loved seeing the code and all the different implementations. All the submissions solved problems that felt important to each of the teams, which made being a judge all the more special. The only thing that he thought was missing or that they would have liked seeing is it ended up most of the people using Momento to store strings or stringified objects. With Momento, you can store more data models or more data types instead of only strings, like storing dictionaries or chronological data in this distinct data in sets. So those are some features that he was missing in the submissions, but all in all, they were really surprised and refreshed of seeing all the good submissions, and they wanted to thank everyone for participating and congratulations for the great job everyone did. Now I guess we've already had enough of me alone on the screen, so we'll bring on screen all the judges and get actually started with it. This year we have an amazing team of judges. Some of the judges were already with us last year. Some of them are new, but we have Yan Chui with us on screen, Daniel Hepperling, Manu Fernando, and Emra Sandam, which I had a real pleasure to meet a few weeks ago in Istanbul. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Let's start with a little introduction. All of that we have on screen, except me, are AWS heroes. So most of them you'll already have either seen, heard, or even attended some of the amazing speeches they've given. So let's start with a little intro just about everyone else. Emra, if you would like to start, since you're already unmuted.
Yeah, I'm battling with the spring allergy, so I was just giving it up this look. So yeah, I'm Emrah Shamdan from Turkey, and I'm a serverless hero since 2020, and I'm very excited about everything about event-driven systems and event-driven architectures and using Momento, and I was very happy to see lots of good submissions about like using Momento in a all creative ways, and it was great to be looking at what people cooked with event-driven architectures and with Momento.
Thanks a lot, Emra. Jan, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. My name is Yan. I've been doing this serverless thing for a while, and I guess I'm nowadays working mostly as myself for myself as an independent consultant, helping other companies, and I always like to get involved in the community events like this one. So yeah, so when I was asked, I was quite happy to jump on board and see what other people have been building.
Thanks a lot, Jan. Manoj?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm Manoj. So I'm a AWS community hero from 2019. So right now I work as a senior serverless engineer at Serverless Guru. About me, like I like to teach AWS because I've been using AWS since 2015, I would say. So I have like a YouTube channel and I'm posting like videos on YouTube channel as well as a couple of courses on Udemy. And I'm really excited to see all these submissions, and I really enjoy reviewing them as well. Thank you for inviting me as a judge.
Thanks, Manoj. And last but not least, Daniel, Jonathan has spoken very good about you, so I'll leave it up to you to also give a, a presentation about yourself or a quick intro.
Good, that money I slipped him paid off. Anyway, I'm Danielle Heberling. I'm an AWS serverless hero. I also help run the Believe in Serverless community, so shameless plug to join that group if you would like. I'm biased, but it's awesome. Trying to think what else. My day job is I'm a founding infrastructure engineer for a pretty early stage startup. So building a lot of stuff from scratch, trying to get best practices in and all that. It's a blast. But yeah, this was an honor and a privilege. Thanks to everyone that participated and really love to see what everyone built. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thanks a lot, Daniel. And it was a plug, but really appreciate it. We really appreciate all the support you've given us for hosting this hackathon also in the Believe in Serverless Discord server. For everyone that is not there yet, please join. It's an amazing community to share ideas, ask questions, or even provide some feedback for everyone else asking some questions. Before we actually get it started into the project showcases, I'd like to get your feedback on what you liked most about the submission. So one highlight of the submissions and one thing you might thought of or might have seen missing.
Maybe I can start. So like the old submissions were really looking like some of them were maybe not as much as like the event driven, but there were a lot of event driven submissions, and this puts the AWS service in the center, like Event Bridge mostly, and also like they were using the Momento cache, especially also the topics for event exchange, and it was I was impressed with the quality of event-driven architectures that are set up. So yeah, it was really impressive for to see.
Thanks a lot, Emra. Anyone else would like to provide some input on what you've seen?
Yeah, I think in general, and I find all the submissions have been much more substantial than I thought it was going to be in terms of how much effort you can tell people have put into putting the things together, both in terms of the project itself, but also in terms of the amount of time, the amount of I guess documentation write up they did, and the demo. I think I was slightly underestimated how much effort it was going to take to review everything. I thought it was going to be like very simple thing that people just put together, but all of them seem to be quite substantial in terms of what has been done.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and also something that most of us are not really familiar to. It's actually documenting, writing, and recording what we build. It's not that usual at work, and something that most of us tend to lag on, or might be the most difficult part.
Yeah, I have same thought. Some of the projects were like really substantial, and some build like entire games, and I was really surprised to see. And they were using like a lot of patterns, like in terms of event-driven architectures. So it's really exciting to see. And they have used like Cognito and the Cognito triggers and DynamoDB streams, and all these different event-driven pattern, which is really exciting to see. So yeah, I think like those submissions are great. So I really enjoyed reviewing them.
Yeah, I think given the time constraints, I was pretty impressed with most of what I saw. So kudos to you all for working under a pretty short schedule to get a lot done. I think maybe the only thing that maybe I would have liked to see a little bit more was like a little bit more infrastructure as code if possible, but I mean, I get it. It's a hackathon. You got to get something out there. But it would have been nice, like, just for visibility of us judges to see, like, oh, you actually did create that event bridge scheduler or whatever. So, but otherwise, yeah, great job.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Infrastructure as code is always better than ClickOps, but time constraint is a time constraint. So all the submissions were really welcomed. Manoj mentioned games, so we can go directly into the first project showcase. It was really impressive what the third place was able to do or to actually work on during this hackathon. So let's bring up Emmanuel Sandillo on screen to see what or to have the showcase.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks, Emmanuel, for joining us, and congratulations on winning the third place. You did a really, really great job.
Thank
But
you,
I'll leave it up
Lorenzo.
to Jan and Manoj to provide more feedback. So I'll leave it up to you three on screen now.
Okay, so a quick introduction about me. I'm Emmanuel Sanjo, a solution architect from Cameroon. And my presentation for this hackathon was to build a game. I don't know if anyone ever played Clash of Clans before, because that's where I got the inspiration. So my game, I got it Clash of Farms. I wanted to combine a gardening and something more interesting like battles, but with the time constraint, I had to focus more on the gardening part of the game. So I'll be presenting that. So just to load my presentation. Uh, okay. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yep, it's up now.
Okay, so here is a quick overview of the architecture of the game Clash of Clans. So for authentication, I went with Cognito and using also a custom trigger to provide the user's username from the, since it's not among the default attributes that Cognito provides. So these lambda functions get it. And now I save the user information also for reference to DynamoDB. And for the mechanism of the game, I mainly rely on API gateway and Momento topics. API gateway is for synchronous actions like purchasing items from the game shop, and Momento topics is when an event occurs in the game, like a plant has been seeded, and if there's any other event like watering the plant and the growth of the plant, the harvest of the plant, and I store everything. And the communication also from the Momento topics to my Lambda functions. I've built a custom Python application which I can deploy on ECS or Abrona to maintain this stateful connection between the topic and to forward down the events to my eventers with custom rules to redirect the events to the appropriate Lambda function. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything about the plan mechanism of the game. So I will share, I will showcase a quick demo of my game. Okay, so here we are on the main the main page of the game is asking me to log in. I'll proceed very fast. Okay. So for the people who are curious about how we build games running in the browser, I've used React with the framework Next.js and a game engine for developing web games called Phaser. So yeah, it's the main page of the game. So I'll go on and click on play. And here we are on the map of the game. So on the map, I've already some items that I've created earlier. So I have my cons plan and I have some kitchens here. So the particularity of this game is that I have a shop where I can purchase other items, like I'll take another kitchen, chicken, yeah, the chicken has been created successfully. So I'll close the shop. And where is it? Yeah, here it is. One of the challenges I face is that with Phaser, it's a bit difficult to actually stream real-time events. So to make it work, I had to refresh the browser and get now the location or the position of this new chicken which has been created. So I'll just go and refresh the browser. Yeah, I'm back on it. We are back on it, and I'll grab it. So now, whenever I place this chicken somewhere on the map, its location is going to be sent to my topic, and it's going to be maintained throughout the next sessions of my gaming session. So I'll just place this one near the other chicken, and the next refresh of the game, they both are going to be side by side and not more the top left corner of the screen. It seems yes. Oh, so I've just gotten an error from my server saying the token has expired. So it's probably due to my Momento token, which have not been refreshed. Ah, oh. So for this game, uh, the as I said earlier, the battle mechanism has not been implemented fully because on the back end I do have some API routes for handling attack mechanisms, but on the front end with Phaser, the game engine, since it's something which is relatively new to me, so I did not really have that deep technical knowledge to actually implement those real-time patterns. So I just focus more on the uh, planting and updating the location of the items from the map. So that's pretty much all about my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Emmanuel.
Thanks, Emil. Yeah. So, so I mean, the first impression that I had was like you have built the entire game. So it was quite impressive when I go through the code and also the demo that we had. Like it's amazing. So you have done quite a bit of things like for this hackathon. So kudos to you. Like I really enjoyed it. Um, and when it comes to the EDS, I saw like several patterns that you have actually used. For example, like you have used these cognito triggers, which I which I use like quite a bit in my projects as well, because it gives us a lot of powerful ways to work with the data when the users are signing in, signing up. And I think you have used it quite well in your game when the users are authenticating and signing up. And the other one I notice is you are using this Momento like from front end to deliver all the events that is by your players, right? And as part of your project, it's a game, so the latency is like very critical. So, and I think you have some plans as the next steps to have it like a multiplayer setup implemented and all that. So in such a cases, if lags or something comes up, then it really hurts the user experience. Like whoever playing it doesn't look well. But I like the fact that you use this Momento topic to like send real time events, and the fact that you use a custom server like the app runner. I understand that why you use this, because you want to like get all those events served as soon as possible, and then you publish to a event bridge, and thereby the lambdas are getting triggered, and then like do all that processing, republish the event to the topic. So I understand that why you use it. Yeah, because in your type of projects, like in a games, particularly the latency aspects is like you have to optimize for the latency. So yeah, so that's another thing I noticed. And yeah, I mean, all in all, I also saw like you use a scheduler, like event with scheduler to schedule event and so on. So that's another pattern I have seen in your project. So you have like used all these patterns really well, and then combine it to your game. And when I look at your demo, also I feel like okay, I would like to play this. So it's kind of enjoying. So I think you have done a good job. Thank you for the project. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and to add to what the Manoj mentioned, I also like the fact that you actually use quite a lot of different technologies, and I quite like the fact that you actually use the Memento topics, because I'm a big fan of Memento topics. But a couple of things I'll also mention as well as a counterpoint is that I think the fact that you are sending events, it makes it quite difficult for you to do validation on those actions. For example, when you place a position if you're overlapping, because I come from building games myself, I was working in the games industry, and one of the things that you find is that people will cheat in all kind of creative ways. So, like a rule of thumb is that you can never trust what the client's sending you. Yeah, especially if your game has got any kind of element of competitiveness to it. So if you've got like the PvP kind of gameplay, you can never trust what the user is sending you 100% just because they send it. So, for example, when you place in chicken, you can always overlap the chicken on the UI. So there's no way for you, if you just accept, okay, the user has sent us this event on the topic, and we just accept it as it is and just save it in the database. There's no way for you to say, actually, you can't do that. You're just overlapping the chicken farms. It doesn't work. Or if you try to collect the eggs from your chicken farm, you try to collect it 5 minutes from now, but it takes an hour really for you to to be able to collect the eggs, the resources from the farm. So there's a lot of things that you can't just take the client on his word. So normally you see that actions like what you just did, they don't just go through the topic just as like a find forget event. They will actually just be API call to the backend. The backend is going to validate some logic, and then say, oh yeah, you can't do this, or yes, sure, you purchased a chicken. And I also noticed that I think maybe because you're doing this whole notification thing, it took quite a while for you to say buy the chicken and then get a notification in the front end, because you have to go to the event, goes to ECS to event bridge, Lambda function picks it up, and then the fire the event backward, you have to go to Memento topic again, I imagine. So it's quite a long way to get that feedback. Whereas oftentimes you want to get better, more sort of responsiveness, and that's where you actually just want to have API call. Again, that's another one place where user would cheat all the time. They don't have the coins, but they want to buy things that they can't afford. They can once they figure out your API code, they will just do it. So you always have to kind of validate what the user is doing, especially for things like purchases and things like that. And that's something that yeah, I've learned over time. Just you find all kind of crazy things people trying to do to try to cheat your game. But yeah, but otherwise, I really like the fact that you actually got a really nice mix of different technologies, both serverless, but also running ECS as well. But yeah, good job overall. Thank you very much for the submission.
Thanks a lot for your feedback, Jan. And here we had, in a few sentences, 2 years of experience that you won't need to learn the wrong way. Frontend has to be beautiful, but not really smart. Backend has to be smart. Thanks a lot, Manoj and Jan, for the feedback, and Emmanuel for the showcase. And congratulations again on winning. Before we go to the next showcase, we have a question here from Christian on how you use Momento. Oh, I think they dropped. Maybe there was some connectivity issues. So we'll come to this question once we get him back on screen. So thanks a lot again, Manoj and Jan. We can go to the next showcase, to the second place, also really related to Spring. So let's get Rishi on screen.
Hi, everyone.
Congratulations. Congratulations on
Thank
the second place. Thanks for joining us, and the floor is yours now.
Yeah. Hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Rishi Tiwari, and I'm a full stack developer from India. And as part of Spring Hackathon, I made this application called Spring Pocketdex. So, using this application, users can scan flora and fauna around them and get details of it. So, this is the workflow. Uh, Application front-end is secured with the help of Cognito user pool, and once user log in, they can scan the surroundings. Before uploading image, a call to Lambda function happens, which is exposed with the help of API gateway, and which API gateway is secured with the help of Cognito. So once signed URL is ready, S3 pre-signed URL is ready, image is uploaded to S3 bucket, and upload of image to S3 bucket triggers Lambda function, which calls OpenAPI. And to call OpenAPI, it uses CloudFront signed URLs. Once response from OpenAPI comes regarding what creature is there in the image, that data is stored in DynamoDB, and also information is stored in Momento topic. So message is pushed in Momento topic, and our client is already subscribed to the topic, and depending on status of message, message is shown to user, either it's successful or failure. Also, Momento cache is being used here to limit the number of uploads that per user can be done per day. So that is done at get signed URL level function. Also, Momento cache is being used here for sharing. So if user finds something interesting and they want to share with others, they can hit on share button, and a shared URL will be generated, which entry will be stored in Momento cache. So this is the complete architecture, and I will just quickly play the recording of demo. So this is the application, and after login, user sees this page, and on click of scan now, user can select image or take photo of image. And while image is in uploading state, here we see uploading, and once uploaded, in notification we see that image is uploaded, and after processing we see this kind of detail. So if I go forward here, here user can decide to share this finding as well. So yeah, this is it.
Yep. Thank you a lot, Rishi. It was also a really good submission and project. Actually, one of the judges actually flagged this project as one of their favorite. It's similar to the game that Emmanuel showcased. It's a good implementation, and also beautiful to see. It's flashy to have those graphics and actually the interaction of taking the image. One of the feedback that was provided was the lack of infra as code, but yeah, it's not enough time sometimes to implement everything from scratch, but I'll leave it up to Jan to provide the rest of the feedback.
Yeah, I think the lack of infrastructure as code was the main thing that was quite obvious straight away. As backend developers, you always want to see infrastructure as code. But otherwise, I think I really like the fact that you actually use AI in the mix as well. Use the OpenAI's API to do this, and I guess I also quite like the fact that you thought about error handling, because in your Lambda function, you've got a DLQ that also pushes the error messages back to the front end through Momento topics. So that's also a very common use case for Momento, for the kind of background processing that you've got here, where whenever you're calling OpenAI, it might take a few seconds, it might take tens of seconds, depending on the model you're using. So it's nice to be able to, I guess, let the user know that, hey, we received your image, we're going to process it. You don't have to wait there while we are calling AI and getting a response back. But yeah, otherwise, I think the main thing that looked weird was just, looking into the code base, there's no infrastructure as code, so it's difficult to figure out what exactly is being sort of created on the back end. But other than that, I think it's a nice project, and yeah, well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Rishi, and congratulations again for the second place. As Jan mentioned, it was really good. Infrastructure code was missing, but the article in the video was really detailed. So really, really good job on that front. Now, looks like Tomato also really liked your project. Now, before we move on to the last or the first place and the last showcase, if we can get Emmanuel back on screen to answer the pending question from Christian. Can we see how you used Momento? If you could just give a quick intro or quick explanation on how that was implemented for the game.
Okay, Christian. So for Momento, everything starts. I'm going to share my code so that you can actually see how I implemented it. Okay. Okay. Can you see my code?
Yep.
Okay, good. So I use the AWS CDK to actually build the infrastructure of this project. Okay. So here in this folder backend is where I define all the lambdas function. So for instance, in the players document, in the player folder, you can see the different definition of the functions. So here for post confirmation, it's actually the definition for it's actually the definition of the lambda function we get executed when a user is signing in inside the game. So here you have the cache which I've defined, and actually we send a request, and from our request we get back we get back the username from the event which is triggered by the cognito, and we also get the username, the preferred username, sorry, of the user, and we build the data to store inside the DynamoDB table. So the primary key, secondary key, and I initialize the goal to 1,000, the trophy to 0, experience, And simply what I do is I store it in DynamoDB, and I do so a write through. So when I store in DynamoDB, I also initialize the data inside the cache so that on subsequent requests, we are not going to get that data from the DynamoDB, but instead from the cache. So let me show you. Here, I store it as a dictionary set fields inside the cache. So that's how I store. So yeah, I just store the goal, the trophy, and the experience, and the preferred username as a dictionary set field inside Momento cache. And any subsequent requests, I'm going to retrieve this data and initialize it on the front end.
That looks really good, Emmanuel. Thanks for looping us in on those details.
Okay, okay.
Jonathan, if we can get us back. No, perfect. I was just seeing a blank screen. Perfect. And yeah, going back to Christian's comment of, yep, selfish question. Ditching Dynamo topics and queues for Momento, it might be good for some scenarios, but it won't be the magical tool to solve all your problems. The idea is to select a service that provides or has all the features that you actually require. But yeah, as mentioned, it can be complex storing objects in Momento, but it's also really, really easy to get started, and it's really good documented. Kudos to Alan there on the amazing Postman collection that they have up and running for starting with it. Now let's go to the last one, the last project showcase, and actually the winner of this hackathon. Let's bring Emra and Daniel back on screen, and also a drum roll for the winner and the winner showcase, or the winner project, which is Eduardo. Let's get it also back on screen. Perfect. Hello, Eduardo.
Hello.
Welcome and congratulations again on the first. Up to you for the showcase and explain or run through your submission.
So let's start. So my name is Eduardo. I'm a backend developer from Brazil. I have about 2 years, 2 years of experience with serverless, and like 3 to 4 years experience with backend. My project name is Racing Through the Cloud. I give it a little nickname, and I'm going to start showing from like a broader view, and then I'm going to show like how it works more internally. So the infrastructure I used is mostly a serverless infrastructure, like Cognito, Lambda, SAM for the infrastructure as code, DynamoDB for persistence, API gateway, event reach, secret manager, and Momento for the real-time communication, and Verso for the front-end deployment. For the front end, I used Next.js with Tailwind and Momento SDK for web. For the backend, I used Lambda with Node.js, Momento SDK, AWS SDK. MIDI is a middleware for Lambda that I used for error management, and also to collect the information on secret store for the Momento API key. And Power Tools I used mostly for logging. I like a lot the tool for logging in this library. Here's a broader view of the backend. There is a Lambda that I use as an invoke Lambda to create Momento caches. This is mostly a Lambda for structure, like when you don't need to access the Momento platform to create your caches. There's a couple of Lambdas with connected to API gateway. There are synchronous Lambdas. And there is 2 Lambdas for processing game events. Like when a game starts, I process I save some information about the game. And when the game ends, I save some information about like which player wins or what are their progresses, things like this. This is the overview of the API. Like there's a couple endpoints for authentication that are connected with Cognito, and a couple of endpoints for managing the game, like the game states. You have lobbies where you can join the lobbies and leave the lobbies, start the game, statistics, and things like this. And each endpoint is connected to a Lambda. This is what I wanted to show you. This is the vision of my game events. Like inside the Momento topics, I created these types of events to manage my game. So each topic, the topics are, I used JSON for all the payloads. And when the client and the backend read the events that come from the topic, I mostly use this parameter here, event name, and I do like a switch case on the event name based on the DTO that I created. And each event have like parameters like when a player joins, you know the username of the joining player. When the game ends, you know which player won and what are the progress of the other players and things like this. So this is the data model of the topics, the Momento topics. I also, to get my game is about a type racing game. And to get the quotes for this game, like the text, I use this free API called Quotable. And I also put here that as an improvement for this project, I wanted to make this call on the Quotable API store on cache or DynamoDB, but because of time constraints, I didn't implement this. But just a mention on where I get the quotes here. So the game flow is, this is a really simplified flow about the game flow, but there is an authentication flow where users sign up, sign in, and get their JWT token. And also users, when I mean users, I mean the clients, the browser, gets the Momento token too. So players search for lobbies or create one, enters the lobby, and when the player enters the lobby, I create a Momento topic named topic / the ID of the lobby. So when every player enters the lobby, it subscribes automatically to Momento. And then there's a wait state where the host of the lobby selects the difficulty of the game and can start. When the game starts, it triggers a Lambda that gets a quote from the quotable API that I showed earlier, and connects to Momento to the Momento topic and send a topic, send a game start event. Like the game is starting with this quote, and when this happens, every player that is connected to the lobby receives this event at the same time, and a countdown is started. When this countdown is started, when the game starts, using the Momento topic, and when someone wins, a game end event is broadcasted to everyone, and the game stops for everyone that is playing. This is the idea. Let me showcase the demo here. So this demo, I'm showing like the main feature of the game. Like I'm not showing the sign in, sign up pages. So this is the lobby. Like I'm showing this demo because I was playing with a partner here. There's 2 players, and you can select the difficulty. The difficulty is only like when you select like easy is a shorter text, medium text, and hard larger text. So when you click start, that's the countdown that every player receives. And you have like you have this quote where you type, and your progress is being broadcasted to all the players, and also the client calculates the words per minute and the progress. My partner, there it is. The partner that I tried the game took a while to start, but here we can see that he's typing here. And when it finishes, like it finishes for everyone, like at the same time. And when it finishes, also an event is transmitted through Event Bridge so I can make the game statistics. That is this page that I'm going to show you here. There is also in the dashboard the main chat. This was my first try with Momento. Like first I built this main chat to try it out. Then I built the lobby feature. And here is the rankings that I explained earlier. Like when the game finishes, it is asynchronous in Event Bridge, and the NLM that process these rankings or statistics of the game. And that's it.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Eduardo, for the showcase and for the actual submission. Congratulations again on winning first place. I'll leave it up to
Thank you.
Emra and Daniel to start with the feedback.
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, first off, excellent job, Eduardo. I was really very impressed with this. And I love seeing an AWS SAM project because CDK kind of seems to be everywhere, but SAM is very deep in my heart. So I was glad to see that personal bias there. But yeah, overall, like I really liked how you mix the usage of like synchronous and asynchronous lambdas. Overall, like I really think tech-wise, like this was probably the very, very best implementation of EDA for the use case. So I think that's what really stood out to me, and I think a lot of the other judges as well. Plus, this looks like a game I would play. So very, very cool. And I also liked your use of the quotable API as well. I thought that was very unique because then you could focus more on like, how can I make this work with the EDA? But yeah, I think that's most of the feedback that I have. I can't really think of anything constructive to say personally, but yeah, keep up the good work. And if you continue to make improvements and add features, like definitely let the rest of us know so we can play it.
Yeah. I can also tell that like I was kind of biased because like I was playing such a game like 20 years ago when I first started, try to type a little bit faster because I wanted to be a computer engineer, and I was playing something like this on my desktop. And when I see the idea, I was like, oh, that's actually familiar. So like, how would I implement such a thing? And I checked like how did you implement this, and I was really impressed of like as Daniele also said, like the where to use the synchronous lambda functions, where to use synchronous ones, and I was also very impressed about the how you use Momento cache with an object like thing rather than just like a variable type of thing. So it is like a really good use of like how to handle the cache using in such a game like environment, and also the asynchronous flow through event bridge also was very to the point. Like this is how you would use it. And also like from my like the SAM is also in my heart, but like there's also the AWS Power Tools that you are using. So like when I look at it, so you are already printing structured logs with it, and then it's your like I was thinking like if Eduardo decides to publish this as a game, he's ready to make money with this, because like he has everything right in the place. And I was like, okay, so this is like really the most ready for like really pushing into a market. And yeah, I will be like I don't know, if you decide to publish this, I would be working on my ranking there.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Emra. Congratulations again, Eduardo. And answering to some of the questions or messages that have been put in the comment section, yes, Creative JA, someone got a Slack. I know most of us are used to that noise or that notification alarm. And also some of the answers that Jan has been dropping in the chat. Momento is also a cache, referring to the initial question of replacing DynamoDB with Momento. As mentioned, Momento is really good, but there might be some scenarios where other tools are best. As Jan mentioned, Momento is a cache for now, he mentioned, so maybe there is something coming that I'm not aware of, and really excited to see it. But yeah, a part of the size limit for the messages, and that Momento is a cache. We also got another question from Creative JA regarding if all winners had built games. Two winners did, as we saw with Eduardo and also with Emmanuel, but it wasn't a hard requirement. And the second place was not a game, the Pokédex, it was an image identification system or application for flowers. It was not a requirement, but it's true that a game like Eduardo's or the one from Emmanuel is more enticing or more packed with features, and you can play around with it to see how everything works. But thanks again, Eduardo, and everyone that's here. Let's have all judges on screen for the final part. Perfect. We now have also Jan and Manoj back on screen. I just wanted to thank everyone. All submissions were really appreciated and really good. Also to every one of you, Emra, Daniel, Jan, and Manoj, for all the help, all the effort that you put in to reviewing all the submissions. I know it was a ton of work, so really appreciate it. Also, thanks to Alan and Josius that were not able to join today, but I'm also really thankful to them. And as always, to the sponsors, Momento, EduCloud Academy, Believe in Serverless, and the AWS Community Builders. Not sure if any one of you wanted to say any last words or anything, any recommendations for any of the submissions that might not have won, but how to get them still working on event-driven and or with Momento.
Before everything else, I would like to thank you, Lorenzo, for keeping everything organized, like keeping this thing going, and I'd like to thank the sponsors who is making it possible. So it was great to be part of it, and it was great to check out all the submissions, and like it was great to be socializing with the community during hackathon. And it's not like a one-time thing. So we are all on this Discord, on the Believe in Serverless Discord, and I'm happy that I joined quite a late to this, but I'm really happy to see how vibrant that the Discord is. So I really recommend everyone joining if they aren't already. Yeah, I will be looking forward for the next hackathon already. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Emra. And since you mentioned the next hackathon, we have provided a form to gather some feedback. It's the second hackathon we do. We'll have the form link in the chat in a few seconds, but it's the second one we do. We know we're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. We want to make it as good as possible and as useful as possible for everyone in the community. So I would really appreciate it if everyone would be able to answer the form, or that will be the link on the chat, so that we can gather some feedback, and the next hackathon or the next event that we do is actually better and can provide more feedback to everyone. So we have now the links to the forms on the chat, and also part of the appreciation of that extra time of filling up the form, we'll also be giving away some Amazon gift cards. So if you weren't one of the winners of the hackathon, you still have the chance to win a little bit with providing feedback to the forum. So thanks everyone for participating. Thanks again to all the judges and to all the participants. I think we can leave it here for today, and I hope to see everyone in the next edition of the hackathon. Thanks everyone.
Thank you guys. Bye.